Let's go. YouTube live. How we doing? Everyone all right, yeah? What's going on, man? What's going on? Just having a few drinks, so I thought I'd go live. Some big boxing on this weekend, isn't there? Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte against Povetkin. What do you think of that? The rematch. How does that go? I see a lot of these fucking biased Matchroom, Sky Sports fucking people saying, yeah, Dillian is not going to make the same mistake as he did the first time, but you say mistake, what? He got hit. He got hit, you know, it's that old boring saying, isn't it? That old predictable saying in boxing. Yeah, it's heavyweight boxing and all it takes is one punch. You know, it's kind of true, isn't it? Even though it's a overused, boring, predictable saying, it's true, man. All it takes is one punch. So it's all right saying in the first fight, Dillian, he made a mistake by dipping down to his left and he got caught with the uppercut. You know, you're going to get hit, aren't you? Mayweather, you know, one of the best defensive boxers out there of all time, you know, getting fucking caught by that big right hand from Shane Mosley and Maidana. So you're going to get hit, aren't you? So I don't know, how does this fight go? You know, this rematch between Dillian and Povetkin. People are saying Dillian, you know, if he hurts Povetkin, he'll go for the kill this time. But that's not necessarily going to work, is it? Because he might run into a punch, you know, and get fucked up. So going for the kill. You remember when Harold Graham boxed Julian Jackson and he closed Julian Jackson's eye and the referee was like about to stop the fight. So Harold Graham, you know, he went for the kill and he got fucked up, didn't he? He got smashed up by Julian Jackson. So, you know, Dillian going for the kill. It's not necessarily going to work, is it? Nigel Benn. What did they used to call him? The wounded animal. You know, when he was hurt, he fucked up his opponents. So I don't know, man. There's no point in talking. I don't like doing reviews of fights because anything could happen. You don't know, do you? You ain't got a clue what's going to happen. It's that old boring saying, isn't it? In the heavyweight division, all it takes is one punch. Chris Eubank Jr. against Marcus Morrison. That's what I mean, man. That fight's a joke, innit? That fight's a fucking joke, man. That fight is some baby thing, innit? Like, come on. I smashed up Marcus Morrison years ago. You know, and I was a little dosser in boxing. I was a little fucking nobody, you know what I mean? So, you know, for me to smash up Marcus Morrison at 5 days notice, Eubank's fucking about, innit? Billy Joe Saunders is right, innit? He's never going to win a real world title. He's fighting my fucking leftovers, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, people were getting all excited, you know, when he signed with the coke sniffer, Kelly Sunderland. You know, those IFL fuckers, they all started running around, didn't they, like headless chickens again. You know, interviewing Gareth Davis and Ben Davison and all these other fuckers. Saying, yeah, what do you think about Chris Eubank Jr. signing with the coke sniffer? You know, like it was big news. It's no big deal. It doesn't mean anything. You know, he's been with big promoters before, Eddie Hearn, who offered him the Golovkin fight. And then Kell Brook took the fight because Eubank didn't want it. And then when Kell got his eye socket smashed up, you know, Eubank, he started taking the piss out of Kell, didn't he? You know, saying he quit and all this, but Kell made millions and millions of pounds from that. You know, he secured the bag. So Kel's about 34 now. He can just chill out. He don't have to do anything. He can just relax with his kids, you know, go on holiday, eat a lot of food. But you know, this fucking Eubank, he's not that good, man, I'm telling you. He's not that good at all. I don't give a fuck if he beat me. You know, he should be beating me. I was a nobody. I didn't have a big promoter or a sponsor. You know what I mean? I was never the A side. I was just a little dosser, you know, who just got the last minute call, you know, to go and box, you know, at 5 days notice against some top prospect, you know, like Liam Williams or Chris Eubank Jr. or someone like that. So I don't know. I don't rate Eubank. I don't give a fuck if he beat me. You know, when I boxed Eubank here, I was working in fucking Amazon. You know, the warehouse, doing security, you know, walking around in my fucking high-vis vest. You know, a dead-end job like that. That's what I was doing when I boxed Eubank. I've only started making money since I started doing these videos. But it took 2 years, you know, to get paid from these videos. I've only made money the past year. You know what I mean? And I've already made more money from sitting here fucking talking a load of drunken crap than I did in my boxing career, you know, getting punched in the face. So, you know, me working in Amazon in my high-vis vest, doing 12-hour night shifts. Eubank should be beating people like that. You know, step in at the last minute. You know Eubank, yeah? You know his first fight. I think he boxed a guy who had like 5 wins and 8 losses. So, you know, Eubank's first fight, he would have got about 50 grand, yeah? Minimum. So you see that 50 grand that Chris Eubank Jr. got for fighting some little dosser. That could set him up for 2 years. He could live off that for 2 years if he lived sensibly. So therefore he can train hard for 2 years, you know, and just focus on boxing. But most boxers have to go to work, you know, working in little dead-end jobs. In Amazon, wearing a high-vis vest. So Eubank, he's not that good, man. To say he's 32 years old, all he's had to do is box and train. And all he's done is win a little silly belt, you know, a little IBO belt. It's not a real belt, is it? It's not a real belt, man. I don't rate him. You know, Kell Brook fighting Golovkin, stepping up a couple of weights. It was quite a good move, wasn't it? In a way, I know he got his eye socket smashed up, but it's quite a good move, man. He secured the bag. But Eubank, he's fighting my fucking leftovers. Kell Brook got in there and secured the bag. Even though he got beat. Dare to be great. You know, like that Israel Adesanya. You remember him? You know, when he stepped up 20 pounds to fight that Polish guy, Jan. You know, the light heavyweight UFC champ. That's what it's about, innit? Daring to be great. But this fucking Eubank, he's fighting my leftovers, isn't he? His dad was quite good, wasn't he? English. You know, he fucked up Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn fucked up Gerald McLennan, you know, blinded the fuck out of him. I put him in a wheelchair. And Gerald McLennan, he was being seen as a mini Mike Tyson. Deservedly. Sometimes that name's a bit fucking, it's like given to the wrong person, innit? You know, like Jeff Lacey. You remember him? He was called the mini Mike Tyson money ball. He got fucking smacked up by Calzaghe. But Gerald McLennan, he deserved that title, didn't he? Mini Mike Tyson. Because he fucked up a load of people. He fucked up Julian Jackson. You know, fucked up Harold Graham. So Chris Eubank Sr. beat those guys. Well, yeah, he did well. He's quite good one, Chris Eubank Sr. But his son, he's a phony, man. He's not real. He's turning down all these big fights, saying he wants Canelo, but he's fighting this little fucking Marcus Morrison. You know Marcus Morrison? You know, since I smacked him up, he's fought the same guy 3 times. You know, the same journeyman called Daryl Sharp. And this Daryl Sharp, you know, he won like 10 fights and he's lost about 60 fights. And that little clown, Marcus Morrison, you know, he fucking beat him 3 times. So it's a bit of a mismatch in it, but Eubank's no good either. You know, they're both clowns, aren't they? So it might be a good fight. Clash of the Clowns. Shout out to Adam Cram for the super chat. £5.77. Love the content, brother. Did you get a chance to see that YB idiot video? I'm that guy from the DM. Be safe. I've heard about this little idiot fucking YB. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. I ain't really watched any of his videos, to be honest with you. So I don't know who the fuck he is. But yeah, what else is going on? Derek Chisora against Joseph Parker. What do you think of that? That's not pay-per-view, is it? That show's not pay-per-view at all. Eddie Earn's trying to rob us again, isn't he? He's trying to sell the show. He's trying to push it really hard. Derek Chisora, you know Tyson Fury when he did that interview the other day? You know, when he was being a bit negative with Andrew McCart. Tyson Fury pretty much summed up Chisora, didn't he? You know, saying he's lost 10 fights. He fucking, you know, he's lost a load of his last 10 fights. He's coming to the end of his career. He's fucking... It's not pay-per-view, is he? Joseph Parker's boring as well. He's not interesting at all, is he? He's really uninteresting. So it's just a boring fight. Like I say, Eubank, fucking Morrison, that's a joke as well, so... What other interesting fights are there? Shannon Contney against Ebony Bridges. That's going to be quite interesting, isn't it? It's going to be quite sexual. You know what I like about that Ebony Bridges? She admits, you know, that she's getting all this attention because of her looks. You know, because of her nice tits and her nice arse. She's got a nice body, actually, that Ebony Bridges. But what I like about her is that she admits it, that she's getting a lot of attention for her looks. And she's really sexing herself up. And that's what she admits to doing, don't she? You know what I mean? But you know, Michelle Phelps, she fucking doesn't like to admit that she's getting subscribers because of her looks. She thinks she's a really good interviewer, don't she? She thinks she's getting subscribers because of her fucking talent, man. You're not talented at all, are you? You haven't got any talent, man. You're not really a good interviewer. But yeah, I like this Australian woman, you know. She looks quite nice, don't she? I can't believe Carl Froch's died. You know, people who write stuff like that, it's like they were neglected as kids. You know, where they crave attention, you know, just writing bullshit like that. This guy used to pop up on my live, you know, saying R.I.P. Joe Rogan. And the first time I seen it, you know, I like Joe Rogan, so I started to get a bit fucking panicky. So I typed Joe Rogan into Google and Twitter, and it didn't say anything about he's dead. But you know, that person there saying that, they just want a response, don't they? But like, how desperate are you for attention? I don't want to slag off the viewers, do I? I don't want to diss the viewers, but you know, when they write stuff like that, R.I.P. Carl Froch, it's kind of desperate, isn't it? It's fucking desperate, man. Yeah, you know Coogan, yeah. people keep sending me photos, you know, of Coogan's baby mama. You know, because she used to be in a Playboy magazine, you know, posing in photos, you know, with her pussy out and her tits. So people keep sending me like nude photos, you know, of Coogan's baby mama. You know, trying to get me to slag her off in a video. But it's a bit of a low move, innit? It's a bit of a low blow. It's a bit snidey, innit? You know, that's the mother of his kid, innit? So I don't think I'm gonna do a video about her. It's a bit of a low move, innit? But yeah, what do you think of that though? You know, I don't think I could be in a relationship with a woman, you know, who's in a magazine with her pussy out. I don't think I could really get with a woman like that, you know. I don't think I'd have any respect for her. You know, if a woman's like a doctor or a lawyer or a solicitor or even a nurse, you know, you'll have that respect for them, won't you? But you know, if a woman's in a magazine naked, you know, with her pussy out, it's a bit demeaning, isn't it? I don't think I could get with a woman like that. You know, and especially having a kid with her as well, because think about the kid. Alright then, imagine you're a kid, yeah, you're 14 years old, you go to school one day, and all the kids in the school are passing around a magazine of your mum with her pussy out. You know, that kid's gonna get bullied, man. It's gonna get fucking tormented and teased. It's gonna suffer from depression. You know, because all the kids in the school are passing around a magazine of your mum with her pussy out and her tits out. You're gonna get bullied, aren't you? So I don't think I could have a kid with a woman like that, to be honest with you. I don't think I could do it, man. I can't do it. Yeah, you know Coogan, yeah? He keeps asking the same question, don't he? He's going around asking the same question, like, who's going to take over from Anthony Joshua, you know, in the UK when he fucks off? He keeps asking that question, don't he, Coogan? Well, it's quite a good question, isn't it? It's quite interesting. Like, who do you think? Who takes over, you know, after Joshua fucks off in England, Britain? A few people said Conor Benn, didn't they? But I don't know why they're saying Conor Benn. Like, what's that based on? You know what I mean? It's too early, innit, to say whether he's going to be like the next pay-per-view star from the UK. It's too early to say, innit? Do you know what I mean? You know Joshua, like, he's kind of like a one-off, innit? Like, I'm not a homosexual, am I? But Joshua's quite good looking, isn't he? He's quite a good looking guy, Joshua is. So he like appeals, you know, to like all kinds of people, not just boxing fans. He appeals to like women as well. And obviously there are some women boxing fans. You know, there's a woman who watches my videos, you know, who sent me a message having a go at me, you know, because I said women don't know about boxing. I was like generalizing. I wasn't speaking about all women. Obviously, some women know about boxing. Some women know more about boxing than me, you know, and I'm a man. So I'm not saying no women know about boxing. I was talking generally. You go out into the streets, yeah, and you go up to a random woman and you say to her, how do you think Conor Benn's going to get on against Vargas? They're not going to fucking know what you're talking about, man. They're not going to fucking know what you're talking about. Most fucking women don't know about boxing. Same with men. Yeah, what the fuck am I talking about this for? I was trying to lead to something. What was I talking about here? I fucking lost what I was. Women knowing about boxing. Oh, Joshua appealing to women. He does, don't he? You know, he appeals to all kinds of people. You know, he met the Queen as well. You know, and the Queen was quite glad to see him. So he's quite appealing, but I don't know how Conor Ben will kind of like have that same kind of attraction, you know, to old people. Because like Joshua, like I say, he's good looking, isn't he? Conor Ben looks alright as well, but Joshua knocks him out, don't he? Big heavyweight, big muscly, good looking heavyweight. You know, who's a bit of a, I won't say he's a good talker. You know, his little sayings, stay humble and less talk, more action. They're a bit shit, aren't they? So I won't really say he's a good talker, but you know, he's not offensive. You know, he don't offend gay people, does he? He's not sexist. You know, saying women don't know anything about boxing. Shout out to Cedric Sniff for the super chat. Apart from Joshua, has anyone else ever threatened your life because of what you said about them in your videos? No one's ever threatened my life, you know, but there's been times where like I've said something about somebody and then I've like come into contact with them, but it was never like them trying to threaten my life. It was more me feeling a bit guilty. Like, you know, the ugly promoter, you know, Richard Poxon. I used to do videos, you know, calling him the ugly promoter. It's a bit fucked up, innit? But that's what I used to call him, the ugly promoter. And like, I was in the gym a couple of weeks ago, you know, on the pads with Dominic Ingle. And that ugly promoter, he walked in because he does like a weekly YouTube videos, you know, with Johnny Nelson and Anthony Crolla. So when I was on the pads with Dominic Ingle, Anthony Crolla came in and so did the ugly promoter. And I felt a bit guilty, you know. You know what I mean? I wanted to go up to him and apologise because he hasn't done anything to me, has he? He's never fucking told me to be safe like Hogan, you know, trying to indirectly threaten me. You know, he's never told me to get the fuck out of his gym, you know, like Joshua did. So, you know, the ugly promoter, you know, me calling him that, it's a bit out of order, isn't it? Same with the black lesbian. You know, the black lesbian. I did a video about a year ago called Does Nicola Adams Look Like a Man? So I felt a bit guilty about that, you know, when she started training with Dominic and she was in the gym. I tried to avoid eye contact with her. What's happening? What is happening here? So what do you think though? Could you be with a woman who is in a magazine, you know, with her pussy out? Would you be able to settle down with a woman like that, you know, and have kids with her? I don't think I could do it, man. I don't think I could do it. Like, you know, a few years ago, I used to be on this dating app. And I got talking to this woman on the dating app. And we were chatting and I invited her around here. And we were sat here having a little conversation. And then I said to her, like, what do you do for a living? And she was like, I'm a, you know, like she was hesitating to tell me what she does for a living. So I thought, you know what, I know she does something dodgy for a living. And then she said, I hope you don't think bad of me, but I work in a brothel. And like, you know, when she said that, I just thought, you know what, this isn't going anywhere further than a blowjob. You know, this isn't going any further than a blowjob. Because like, I'm not going to fucking marry a woman like that, am I? I'm not going to fucking go to Nando's with a woman who works in a brothel. I'm not going to go to fucking the cinema with a woman who works in a brothel, you know, and hold hands with her watching a film. You know, it's not going to happen, is it? So, When she told me she works in a brothel, I just kind of lost a bit of respect for her, man. She was trying to kiss me as well. So I was like, going like that, like, nah, I'm not into that, you know, you fucking give blowjobs for a living, so I don't really want to kiss you. And then she said, yeah, but I've got some gel that I put around my lips, you know, like to stop me from getting infected. But I don't care, I don't give a fuck about your gel. I don't give a fuck. So yeah, I couldn't be with a woman like that and kiss her and fucking have kids with her and all that, but it's up to Coogan, innit? He probably seen her in a porno mag. You know, he's all about pussy and views, innit? He's probably seen her in a porno mag and thought, yeah, I want to get with her, I want to fucking settle down with her. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Fucking hell. Use your fucking brain, man. Use your fucking brain. Shout out to Jermaine McCarthy for the £5, yeah? Thanks for that. Alexander D, thanks for the little £3. Tell us the Plenty of Fish dating app catfish story you started. Yeah, this used to be on a dating app a few years ago, and I got a message from somebody saying they fancy a fuck. And obviously I got excited, innit? Because it had like a woman's name, so I thought it was a woman. So I got a bit excited. So I said, where do you live? And they gave me the address. And it was about 5 minutes from here. So I went round, knocked on the door, and they sent me a message saying, go around the back. So I went through these big gates. And there was this fucking black gay man, you know, at the window, and he was like waving me in. So I was like looking at this man thinking, what the fuck? I could tell he was gay as well. So I started to walk out the gates, and like, when I walked out the gates, these two fucking gay black men started chasing after me. They started like literally running after me, you know, and I started running off, and I quickly jumped on a bus, you know, to get away from them. Two fucking gay men trying to set me up, you know, trying to fucking rape me. Yeah, man. I had a boxing match about a week later, so I didn't fucking smack them up. I didn't want to smash up my hands, you know, on a couple of gay men's faces. But yeah, you have to watch out on these dating apps, you know. Shout out to Almas, Tyan, upload your old videos to Patreon because the subscription is getting useless. You know what, I was thinking that as well today. You know, this live here, you know, after I finish this live, I'm going to make it private on YouTube, you know, just put it on Patreon. And just put my old videos up, because I know what you're saying, man. There's no incentive for people to subscribe to my Patreon. Shout out to the subscribers. But there's no incentive, you know, because like, the videos I put on there, they're normally on here anyway, you know, on my YouTube channel. But what it is, I set up the Patreon, you know, when Coogan reported my old channel, you know, and they shut down my old channel. That's when I set up the Patreon, you know, as a way of putting out videos. But then I thought, Patreon, it's not really known, is it? It's not really that known. You know, YouTube's a lot bigger, innit, you know, for sharing videos. So I thought, I'm going to go back on YouTube. You know, and just get my videos out there to as many people. So Patreon, it's gone downhill a bit. It's gone a bit downhill, man. But shout out to the people who still subscribe, you know. I'm still got a few hundred subscribers, so but yeah, I've started investing, you know, the money that I make from these videos. I've started investing them, you know, in Bitcoin and stocks and shares, you know, like Apple, Amazon, Google. Because I can remember about 15 years ago, you know, when I used to sell weed. I used to sell weed about 15 years ago, yeah. And I had about £10,000, you know, in cash. And I remember like counting the money out, you know, on my bed in like £50 notes and £20 notes. And I was counting the money and it was like 10 grand, like 15 years ago. But that's when those big companies, you know, started to really take off, you know, like Amazon and Facebook and YouTube. So, you know, if I'd have took that money and like invested it, say I invested like 2.5 grand in Apple, 2.5 grand in Amazon, Facebook, Google, you know, I'd be fucking, I don't know what I'd be right now, but I'd have some serious cash. So yeah, I bought some Bitcoin today, £500. Because like Bitcoin shares, you know, when it first started, they were like $5. Now it's $40,000. So imagine that, you know what I mean? Look how big a step up that is, you know, $5 to like $40,000. So it's a big step up, innit? Yeah, what's going on? What else is going on in boxing? Ricky Hatton's son's getting a bit of attention, isn't he? Campbell Hatton. What do you think of him? Do you think he's going to be as good as Ricky Hatton? It's hard to say, innit? I was watching an interview with Campbell and Ricky Hatton today. And you know that Campbell Hatton, he's got a little kid, hasn't he? And he's only about 18 himself, and he's got a 2-year-old kid. So he got into posse at a young age. You know his dad, Ricky Hatton, he's a bit of an addict as well, isn't he? He was addicted to cocaine. And he was addicted to alcohol and food. You know, he was always ballooning up in weight, wasn't he, Ricky Hatton? You know, he was a fat cunt, wasn't he? In between fights. So he's got that addictive personality, Ricky Hatton. So his son probably has as well. You know, it's probably quite sexual. You know, Ricky Hatton, he said if his son is as good at shagging as he is at boxing, he'll go far. Now, if his son is if his son, yeah, is as good at boxing as he is shagging, he'll go far. So he's a bit addicted. I started going downhill, you know, when I started getting into women. I was pretty much unbeaten. You know, in my first 10 fights, and I fought some good guys. But you know, as soon as I started to get into like posse and views and alcohol, I started to fuck up. So Ricky Hatton's son, Campbell Hatton, I don't know if he's going to go that far. You know, he's being trained by Ricky Hatton's brother, Matthew Hatton. But what credentials has he got? You know, as a boxing trainer, like who has he trained, Matthew Hatton? It's alright saying, yeah, he was a good boxer and he went 12 rounds with Canelo, but that don't mean anything. You know what I mean? It don't mean anything, does it? Like, what's he done as a trainer? He hasn't really done anything, has he? So, what's going on here? Yeah, ask me some questions, innit? Lawrence Okolie. He boxed quite good, didn't he? You know, against that Glowacki. He did quite well. Chilling in Dubai with the Arabs. What do you think of that song? I spoke about this already, Anna. I've spoke about this in the last video. You know, these rappers today, they just sing about money and cars and jewelry and bitches. They haven't really got any depth, have they? They haven't got any fucking depth, man. But he's a world champion boxer, so it's not his main thing, is it? You know what I mean? He's done well in boxing, man. What was your fight like against the guy that Eubank's fighting? Yeah, I've already spoke about this already, you know. But yeah, he's Marcus Morrison. He's fucking shit, man. He's no good. I beat him up at 4 days' notice. Makes me want to come back, you know, to boxing, you know, when I see people like him getting a chance. But like I said, you know, these videos, I made more money from these videos than I did in my whole boxing career. So there's not really a big incentive. You have to have something. You know, when I was boxing, I sold like 20 tickets, you know, to box on a Carl Froch undercard. You know, in a world title fight. Undercard. I sold like 20 tickets. So when I was boxing, I wasn't really a big fucking draw. I wasn't really interested. I'm not saying I'm interested now, but I didn't like have a unique selling point. You know, like that Ebony Bridges, like USP is like her tits. You know, and her arse. She's quite nice, isn't she? So that's her selling point, and she knows it, and she like really amps it up sexually, you know, on her Instagram. And in weigh-ins and all that, she wears this nice fancy underwear. But we don't really know about her in terms of boxing, do we? Like, who she beat, like, we don't really know, like, if she's even good at boxing. It's almost like we don't give a fuck if Ebony Bridges is a good boxer. It's like we don't give a fuck, do we? As long as she's got nice tits and a nice arse. You know, and that's it. That's all we're really bothered about. It's like we don't give a fuck. Women boxing, it's still a bit behind, isn't it? You know, you can have 2 fights, you know, and fight for a world title, because there's not that many women boxers. It's quite new, innit, women boxing. You know, men, they've been boxing for centuries. You know, John L. Sullivan, back in the bare knuckle days. So, I don't know how good that Ebony Bridges is, but she looks quite nice, don't she? So that's all that matters. Shout out to Danny for the super chat. Have you met Ben Doherty? Is he as weird as he seems? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, you know, but thanks for the super chat. But yeah, you have to use what you can use. You know, Dave Allen putting socks down his pants. That got him like 10 million views, you know, at IFL all-time high. You know, Dave Allen putting socks down his pants. So a lot of gay people tuned in, you know, to see that weigh-in. So, you need a USP. I didn't have one. You know what I mean? I was a bit uninteresting. I didn't like being on camera. You know, all this talking that I'm doing now. I never used to do this. I used to walk into the Ingle gym and there was like always cameras in the gym. You know, because there's been some top fighters there. Johnny Nelson, Kell Brook, Junior Witter world champ. You know, Brendan Ingle, brilliant trainer, Dominic Ingle. So there was always cameras in the gym. So I used to walk into the gym and I'd see Brendan Ingle talking to a Sky Sports cameraman, you know, interviewing Brendan. And I used to walk in and I used to like quickly try and walk into the changing rooms because I knew that Brendan would shout me over. So I'd quickly try and walk into the changing rooms, you know, so I didn't get fucking called over to talk in front of the camera. You know, and he'd see me and he'd like shout me over and I'd think, oh, fuck, you know. And I'd go over to the camera and Brendan would start asking me questions. And I'd just stand in front of the camera, you know, like an idiot, just saying, I don't know, yeah, no, yeah, I don't know, yeah, I don't know, yeah, thanks for that, yeah. You know, just talking a load of shit in front of a camera. So I didn't really know how to talk, you know, back in the days. So I was a bit uninterested. And my style was quite boring as well. I was basically a shitter version of Johnny Nelson. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really a big sell. But this Ebony Bridges, she's using her body, you know, to get that attention. So it's good. I don't know how many kids who make a grand a day selling bud, especially in 15 years. Yeah, I can't be bothered to answer that question, but yeah, I had about 10 grand, you know, in cash from selling weed. Yeah, shout out to DC for the super chat. Big up Carl Frocher's nose. And big up all the crypto holders. Everyone needs to buy AMP token. It's the future of crypto. That's what I mean, like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin was like $5. And now it's like $40,000, and that wasn't even that long ago. You know, it's only been going for a few years, hasn't it? You know, the Black Quitter. He said that he used to be with this woman, you know, and she was like really high maintenance. And she'd only eat in the best hotels, the best restaurants, and she'd only stay in the best hotels. You know, the 5-star hotels. She won't stay in the travel lodge. You know, a little shit 2-star hotel like the travel lodge. She won't stay in that. She only wanted to stay in the best hotels and eat in the best restaurants. So, you know, the Black Quitter, he used to pay, you know, to go to like top restaurants with this fucking high maintenance woman. You know, and spend money on her and all that and take her on holiday. You know, and pay for her to go on holiday, but it's just dead money, innit? Like I said, there's a website called Viva Street, you know, that you can just go on there and just pay a few quid, you know, to fuck a nice escort. So instead of taking women to like 5-star restaurants and staying in 5-star hotels, just fucking pay a few quid to bang a escort, you know, on a fucking website called Viva Street, and just put your money into like cryptocurrency or something like that, stocks and shares, Apple. Amazon, Google. Sorry, I need to piss in this bottle, you know, because I'm going live. People keep having a go at me for doing it, but I ain't got time to run to the toilet, you know. So yeah, just send me some questions and we'll just... Do you think Derek Chisora against Joseph Parker's pay-per-view? Are you going to pay for that? Yo, hurry up, man. Well, Hara Davis said I work in a pub. I don't work in a pub, you know. I used to work in a club, you know, doing security. But I got sacked, you know, for having a transsexual. Because there was this transsexual in the club, you know, acting up. So, you know, when the transsexual walked out to go for a cigarette, I said to the other security, don't let her back in here, or him, or whatever that is. Don't let that back in here. So, you know, because I called the transsexual that, the fucking transsexual reported me to the manager, you know, and I got sacked. You know, because the manager was worried about the fucking LGBT community, you know, doing a little protest outside the fucking bar. Which they've done before, you know, when someone was being a bit homophobic who worked there. So yeah, they got rid of me. R.I.P. Lee Noble. Yeah, R.I.P. Lee Noble. You know, if you don't know who he is, me and him did a few interviews. You know, on IFL TV, you know, and fucking me and Coogan were little fake mates. Little pally mates and that. And he gave me exposure, you know, before I set this up. So he interviewed me and Lee Noble. And he died of leukemia. You know, when Lee Noble came out and said he had leukemia, I thought he was messing about, you know. I thought he was like exaggerating or like pretending, you know, to try and get attention, because he seemed like that kind of guy sometimes. Like he'd say things, you know, to try and get attention. Like I remember when he told me that he got £5,000, you know, for fighting in a bare knuckle promotion. But those bare knuckle fighters, they're not getting 5 grand. You know, that BKB or whatever it's called, that's a small promotion. When I boxed Chris Eubank Jr. live on Channel 5, I got 2 grand, which is peanuts, innit? So you know, to get £5,000 for fighting in a small promotion like fucking bare knuckle BKB, it's just not happening. So I thought he was lying, you know, when he said he had leukemia, but yeah, he did. Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Thanks for the super chat. Shout out Ty. I'm rocking a Coogan's bent leg t-shirt. How many bottles of Echo 4s are you on? Well, this is the first one. Yeah, this is the second one. This one's only 5%, that's why it's lighter. This one's like 12%, you know, and it's a bit darker. And shout out to the woman who bought me this bottle of proper 12. There's a woman who watches these videos, you know, I stopped calling her a reject, you know. It's a bit disrespectful, isn't it? You know, calling a woman a reject, you know. She's buying me all these bottles of Echo 4s. She gave me a 42-inch TV. She gave me a laptop. She gave me a DVD player. You know, my car broke down the other day and she fucking sent her RAC, car recovery. She sent them to me, you know, because my car broke down in town. So I'm not going to call her a reject anymore, you know. She's a nice woman. Are you smoking skunk? Coogan got caught smoking weed, innit? You know, in that YouTube video. Finish the lyrics. Have you seen that video where Coogan was caught red-handed smoking weed, and then he like tried to quickly hide it, you know, because he's trying to get that corporate sponsorship money, innit, Coogan, you know, from who's he with now? He was with William Hill. He was with that fucking Det KO. I don't know who he's with now. He's with MTK Global, innit? So he's trying to go all legit, you know, trying to get that money. So yeah, he was caught red-handed smoking a spliff. You know what I mean? He tries to hide the fact as well, you know, that he threatened to cave Prince Patel's head in. You know when Coogan said to Prince Patel, I'll cave your fucking head in. You know, Prince Patel, he was like looking at his phone, wasn't he? You know, staring at his phone, you know, trying hard to avoid eye contact with Coogan. Do you know what I mean? He didn't want any confrontation, did he, with Coogan? So he was like staring at his phone. You know, when Coogan said he's going to cave his fucking head in. Imagine being scared of Coogan, man. That's fucking bad, innit? Imagine being scared of Coogan. That's what I mean. I'd fucking hate to be like a little 5-stone boxer, you know. Because then you can get beat up by anybody who's like 10 stone above. Like I bet Prince Patel, I bet he'd lose to Shannon Contney, you know, in a street fight or even a boxing fight. Shannon Contney would fuck up Prince Patel, wouldn't she? She would fuck him up. What's it like getting more posse and views than Coogan? I don't know about the views, you know, Coogan, you know, and Umar, they love that clickbait, don't they? So, they're probably getting more views, you know, than me. But as far as posse, I'm probably getting, I'll say I'm getting more posse, but I'm not. Like, I turn it down, man, because it's like the novelty wears off, you know, after a while. It's like when I got banned from boxing, I was eating a load of chocolates, you know, because I didn't have to make weight, I didn't have to be in shape, so I started eating a load of chocolates. But then after about 6 months, I got a bit bored of it, you know, and I don't eat chocolates anymore. So the novelty wears off. When I was in my 20s, I was fucking banging any old fat cunt. But after a while, the novelty wears off, man. Not fully. I still like posse and views, but I don't just fuck any old fat cunt. You know, like I would have done when I was in my early 20s. Did you see the video where Billy Joe Saunders made the guy pull his pants down while driving his car? Funny. Yeah, I'm not really into that, you know. It's a bit... I'm not really into that at all. You know, when Billy Joe Saunders was wearing that apron, you know, with the dick, you know, and people were laughing at it and finding it really funny. I didn't find that funny, you know. I didn't like it. I didn't like that fucking apron, you know, with the dick on it. You know what I mean? I just didn't like it. I'm just not into dicks. I'm just not fucking... I'm not a dick fan. I've had a shower with Johnny Nelson before, you know, in the Ingle gym, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I remember Johnny Nelson, he was like talking to me like that close. He was like stood really close to me, you know, when he just got out of the shower, he was like stood that close to me. So, I don't know. But yeah, that fucking apron, you know, that Billy Joe Saunders was wearing with the dick on it. I didn't find it funny, man. I didn't find it funny at all. But yeah, I like Billy Joe Saunders, you know, it's a bit of banter in it. I watched a really good interview the other day, you know, with Billy Joe Saunders. He got interviewed by this woman, this American woman. It was just before he boxed in America, you know, on that KSI Logan Paul show. And it was a really good interview, you know what I mean? Billy Joe Saunders was talking about when he was like a little gypsy kid, you know, and his dad would drive him around, you know, to different sites. Not gypsy sites, but like work sites. Because his dad had a little job on, you know, doing a bit of tarmacking or like roofing. So Billy Joe Saunders, his dad used to drive Billy Joe Saunders, you know, to jobs. You know, and his dad would like wait, you know, for a phone call to confirm whether or not he's got the job, you know, to do a bit of tarmacking or a bit of roofing. And Billy Joe Saunders was in the car thinking, oh, I fucking hope he don't get this job, you know, it's freezing outside. You know, and then his dad would get the call, you know, to say that he's got the job, you know, to do a bit of tarmacking. And then his dad would say to Billy Joe Saunders, right, come on, let's go. And Billy Joe Saunders was like, oh, fucking hell, man. I've got to do a bit of tarmacking or a bit of roofing, you know, in the cold. So he jumped out of the car and he was doing roofing, you know, as a young kid. But that's good, innit? That's quite good, man. Like, you know, these gypsies, they don't rely on a 9 to 5, do they? They don't go to job interviews, you know, and sit in front of a fucking manager and say, oh, please can I have the job? Please, please, I need to buy myself some food and I need to have a roof over my head. So please, can you give me the job? I'd really appreciate it if I got the job. Yeah, if you hire me, I'll be a big asset to your organization. You know what I mean? You know, you have to fucking beg them, don't you? You have to beg them for the job. I remember the last job interview that I went to. And I was like, he was like really interrogating me. You know, like saying, what was the last job you had? How long was you there for? Why did you leave? You know, really interrogating me. And I was just sat there and I thought, I can't be fucking doing with this shit, man. This was a couple of years ago. So, you know, as soon as I started doing these videos and I started making money from these videos, I thought, I'm never ever going to another job interview again where I'm going to be fucking interrogated, where I'm going to be sat in front of two managers who are saying to me, what's the last job you had? How long was you there for? Why did you leave? What qualifications have you got? Why would you be an asset to this company? And I was like fucking sweating, man. It was like really putting it on me, and like, I thought, I can't be doing with this shit. I'm gonna work for myself, you know, like those gypsies. You know, tarmacking drives and all that. These guys are on the fucking ball, aren't they? Don King, why are you so jealous of Kruger? It's not really about jealousy, because there's lots and lots of people out there who are doing really well, you know, in life, who I really like. Billy Joe Saunders is going to get a multi-million-pound payday, you know, for fighting Canelo. You know, I think he'll get robbed on points, Billy Joe Saunders, but he's going to get paid a shitload of money. Liam Williams, who I was briefly speaking to the other day in the gym. You know, I boxed Liam Williams and it was a no contest, you know, because of a clash of heads. So he's gonna box that Andrade, you know, for the world title. He'll probably get paid like some good money. But I'm not jealous of him. I'm not envious. So, you know, this fucking idiot here saying, why are you so jealous of Kruger? It's not jealousy at all. I'm just talking facts, man. You know what I mean? Me talking about him being with a woman who was in a magazine with her pussy out. She chose to go into that magazine with her pussy out and her tits out. He chose to get with a woman like that. So that's his choice, innit? It's not like I went up to their bedroom window with my phone and started taking photos of her naked and started talking about it in this live here. He fucking knows she was in a nude magazine. That's probably what attracted him to her. So it's not me being jealous, is it? There's a lot of people out there, you know, who are doing really well. You know who I like? Mayweather. Lawrence Okolie. Shout out to Lawrence Okolie, you know, for winning the world title. Chilling in Dubai with the Arabs. Can you do a video with Boxing Talk with Addy? Yeah, man, I like that guy, you know. Shout out to Boxing Talk with Addy. You know, he's got a good channel going on, hasn't he? Every minute his videos are popping up, you know, in my suggestion list on YouTube. So he's doing his thing, isn't he? Boxing Addy. Someone sent me a clip of him, you know, talking about me and my channel, you know, saying that I could get 1 million subscribers and that my videos are genius. So yeah, shout out to Boxing Talk with Addy. You know what I don't like about him though? He calls me Tyan. But obviously my channel's called TyFL TV, you know what I mean? So obviously my name's not Tyan, is it? It's obviously Tyan. That's why my channel's called TyFL TV, you know. I basically stole Kruger's channel name. Or fucking... So yeah, my name's not Tyan, but yeah, other than that, I like him. But I don't like how he says that I'm a character, you know what I mean? Because like him saying I'm a character, like people ask him if he would have me on his channel. And he says, if he's not in character, like, if he's not in character, I'll have him on my channel. But yeah, like, how does he know if I'm in character or not? It's not like me and him have gone to the pub, you know, and we've sat down and had a chat. And he's thought to himself, you're different here when you're not on camera to how you are on camera. So you're definitely in character. Like, I've never been to a pub with him. I've never spoke to him. I've never met him. Shout out to J85 for the £5 before I miss it. Thanks for the super chat. Yes, Tyan. How's the new washing machine? Tell Mick Shaw he has bent legs. Yeah, thanks for that. P.S. I'd buy a ticket to watch you box again. Yeah, I appreciate that. Shout out to J85. But, you know, this boxing talk with Addy, he's basically saying I'm in character, you know, because he had Umar, IFL Umar on his channel. And Umar, he said I'm fake and I'm putting it on. So what do you think of that? You know, Umar saying that. Like, I met Umar twice for like 15 minutes each time. So like, how the fuck is he gonna know what I'm really like based on meeting me twice for 15 minutes? He ain't got a fucking clue, man. But he's calling me fake, isn't he? Saying I'm putting on an act and all this. I met him twice for 15 minutes. You know that murderer, Jeffrey Dahmer? I was watching an interview with him the other day. And basically this Jeffrey Dahmer, he used to like go to gay bars, you know, and talk to a few little gay men. And he'd try and like get a gay man round to his house. And then he'd give him a drink and he'd put like drugs, you know, in his drink, you know, and drug him. And then have sex with him and then kill him, you know, and then chop his head off and put it in the fridge. That's what that Jeffrey Dahmer used to do, you know, to a load of gay men. You know, drug them, kill them and put their fucking heads in the fridge. And he used to like pour acid into them, you know, to try and like keep them like alive in like a zombie state. He's really fucked up. But I'm saying, like, you know those gay men who met that Jeffrey Dahmer in the pub? And they were talking to him for 15 minutes. They didn't know him, did they? Based on talking to him for 15 minutes in a pub. They didn't know him, did they? They didn't know that he's the kind of guy who's going to drug them, kill them, chop their heads off and put them in the fridge. Obviously, that's why, otherwise they wouldn't have gone back with him. So, you know, this fucking Umar, you know, saying I'm fake. You know, based on meeting me twice. You know, he's a bit fucking... It's a bit snidey, innit, for saying that. I fucking made Umar. I fucking made Umar. Do you know what I mean? It's alright saying Coogan gave him the job. But Coogan's given jobs to loads of people who you've hardly ever heard of. Yeah, Razaban. Razaban. You know, who's Razaban? Have you ever heard of him? Do you know what he looks like? You don't know what he looks like, do you? You know, if Razaban came up to you in the streets and asked you for the time, you wouldn't know him at all, would you? You know, you don't know him. You don't know who he's fucking. You don't know how he's doing sexually. You don't know what kind of fancy watch he's wearing. But you know that about Umar, you know, because I spoke about him. I'm not saying this channel is brilliant. I'm not saying this channel was really big. But I fucking made Umar. Like, you know, Umar, yeah, he interviewed Billy Joe Saunders. And Billy Joe Saunders said to him, you should give Tyan half of your wages because he's made you famous. You know, and it's kind of true, isn't it? Kind of put him on the map a little bit, but he's never thanked me at all, has he? He's never fucking shown that appreciation at all, has he? What's Coogan's slag bird's name? Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, you know. I'm not going to get into it because it's like I'm pushing it, you know, and promoting it. But it's out there, man. It's out there, you know what I mean? It's out there. And people keep sending me photos of her with her fucking pussy out, you know, and her tits. So I'm just saying, like, I couldn't be with a woman like that at all. I wouldn't have that respect for her. You know, if she was like a solicitor, I'd respect her a lot. But being in a magazine with a posse art, it's not really for me. I can't marry that at all. Shout out to Mr. Will Guitar. Thanks for the super chat. Good evening, sir. Good to see you again. Any prediction for Dillian and Povetkin? I didn't think it was a lucky shot last time. A very crafty ex-champ. Yeah, that's true, you know. That Povetkin he fucked up Takam with it, didn't he? You know what I mean? It's not a lucky punch. It's boxing. That's what you go in there to do. You go in there to punch and hit your opponent with a good punch. And that whole boring saying in the heavyweight division, all it takes is one punch. It's true, innit? So I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to happen. You know, you can't say, oh, in the 5th round, Dillian is going to throw a feint jab and then he's going to slip that way and then he's going to throw the left uppercut. You don't know what's going to happen. How do you know what he's going to do? We don't know, do we? But I hope he wins, man. I fucking like him. Dillian. Sometimes he messages me, you know, saying hello, you know, on Instagram. Tyan, if you could go back, would you box or boot someone's head off in MMA? You know, if I could go back like 20 years, I'd probably get into MMA, you know. I'm not saying I would have been a UFC champion, but I would have got into it because like boxing, you know, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, they're still fucking talking shit, aren't they? They're still going backwards and forwards on Twitter, but it's boring, isn't it? You know, these top pound for pound guys. You know, Joshua Fury as well, that's getting a bit boring, isn't it? You know, what are we saying here? There was a big announcement, weren't they? Like they've signed a contract, but they said that they agreed terms about a year ago, and I don't know. I'm just not interested. I just can't be arsed with it. I can't be bothered to talk about it. I just want to see the fight. Just tell me when they're on their way to the ring, and then I'll believe you. Shout out to Mikey Simpson for the super chat, £4. But yeah, I think UFC is better because they fight each other, don't they? You know, Francis Ngannou against that Stipe. That fight's this weekend, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's a fucking really good fight, isn't it? And basically, you know, whoever wins this fight between Francis Ngannou and Stipe, whoever wins that fight, they're basically the best fighter in the world, aren't they? Because like UFC is like the closest you're going to get to real fighting. So whoever wins that in the heavyweight division, they're the best fighter in the world, aren't they? That's fucking interesting. Imagine being the best fighter in the world. Yeah, man. But UFC fighters just fight each other. You know that Masvidal. He's fighting that Kamaru Usman, innit? And he's got a bit of notice this time. So it should be a bit more interesting, a bit more even. That's what I like, you know, fucking Errol Spence and Terence Crawford tweeting each other. And Joshua and Fury saying they've agreed terms and they've signed contracts, but the venue hasn't been agreed. The fight venue fee hasn't been agreed. You know, it's not fucking sorted yet, so shout out to Lorraine Thompson Thanks for the proper 12 whiskey. I appreciate it. Enough of the MMA UFC talk. Not interested. Only boxing only fans here. You say that, but like, that's not true, is it? Like I say, I tuned into that boxing talk with Addy's boxing YouTube live. You know, and he's a little fan of UFC, isn't he? So just because you're watching this and it's a boxing channel, it don't mean you're not into UFC. UFC's better than boxing. It's fucking better, man. I'm telling you. These guys just fight each other, you know, because there's only like one promoter or owner. Dana White. But there's all these fucking guys, Eddie Hearn, Fish Eyes, the coke sniffer Kelly Sunderland. You know, people getting excited when Eubank signed with him. But he's been signed with top guys before, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman. So what difference does it make? He's fighting my fucking leftovers, man. He's fighting my fucking leftovers. I think you could get back in the ring. I probably could. But like I say, like, you know how Chris Eubank's fighting this little nobody who I smacked up? I'd have to fight a little fucking nobody. Because I've had too much alcohol, you know, since my last fight 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And like, the money, how much did I get for my last fight against Marcus Morrison? I got about £1,200. So, you know what I mean? That's shit money, innit? I made more than that, you know, on one of these lives one time. So there's no point. I'll have to get paid some serious cash. And I'm not even saying I deserve to be paid that kind of serious cash. But does Dave Allen? Dave Allen's got about 4 houses in Doncaster. You know, and he hasn't even won an area title. So, yeah. But he's always on Instagram, innit, making little funny videos. Fucking... Coogan's baby mama, who was in the porn mag, is called Laura Rose. Yeah, that's her name, innit? So, that's what I mean. Like, Coogan's like a public figure, innit? So whoever he gets with, people are gonna like look at her name, you know, and like see what she's all about. So obviously they're gonna find this fucking photo of her in the magazine with her posse out. So I don't know, it's... I'd say it's not a good move, but it's up to him, innit? Shout out to Joe McCallum. Thanks for the super chat. Where do you look when you're boxing? Do you look at your opponent in the eyes? I know MMA guys are told to look at the chest. Yeah, you know Brandon Ingle, he was a fucking brilliant boxing trainer. You know, he produced about 5 world champions and about 20 British champions and about 10 European champions. So Brandon Ingle, he was on the same level as Costamato. You know, he was on that level. And Brendan, he used to like sometimes get us like looking down, you know, at the opponent's feet, you know, and let's like hit him and like walk away. Like you'd hit him. This was one of Brendan's moves. One of his combinations on the pads was jab. Like he'd say, walk away. That's what he would say when he's holding the pads. He'd say, walk away. So what we'd do is like jab, yeah, and then like turn to the side and like walk away. You know, like we're just not interested in the fight. You know, when Oliver McCall fought fucking Lennox Lewis, you know, in the rematch, and he started crying and walking away. Lennox Lewis was a bit confused. He didn't know what was going on. You know, and Oliver McCall was having a breakdown. So Brendan, he probably watched that fight and started to incorporate that into his own like training methods. So one of Brendan Ingle's methods was walk away. So you jab and then like pretend you're walking away, yeah? And then come back and throw a right hand and a left hook. Do you know what I mean? Brendan was a fucking brilliant trainer, man. You know, like Costamato, he was on that level, man. You don't get many trainers like that anymore in boxing. These trainers like Matthew Hatton, like people assume that he's a good trainer. They like think, oh, Ricky Hatton was a good boxer. You know, and he's Ricky Hatton's brother. And because of the name, they've probably got a lot of boxing knowledge. But it doesn't work like that. I've said this before. Brendan Ingle was a shit boxer. But he became a fucking brilliant trainer, producing British, Commonwealth, European and world champions from kids. He didn't start taking them on the pads when they were already world champions like Dave Coldwell did with Tony Bellew. You know what I mean? He produced world champions from nothing, little kids. Kell Brook was a little fat cunt when he walked into the gym. He was 9 years old. Nassim Hamed was 7 years old. Johnny Nelson was about 15. So it speaks for itself that Brendan was a good trainer, but these little trainers like Matthew Hatton, they're not proved, man. People are just assuming they're good trainers. Same with Ben Davison, you know, training Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders, who were already world champs when they walked into his gym. So don't assume Ben Davison's a good trainer, man. He might be, but he might not be. Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Thanks for the £5.50. Keep the live streams going and let's get this channel past the IFL. Yeah, Coogan, he interviews the big names, don't he? He interviews like the big names, you know, that Andrew McCart. He interviewed Tyson Fury, you know, when he was like slagging off Derek Chisora. You know, saying it's not really a pay-per-view fight. It's, you know, Chisora has lost 10 fights. You know, he's lost a load of fights. And it's kind of true, isn't it? Why has the quality of trainers gone down in boxing? Yo, what's that fucking noise? Yeah, it's my laptop, it don't matter. Why has the quality of trainers gone down? I don't know, I think they're relying on a lot of like sports nutrition, sports strength and conditioners, you know, they get like, you know Brendan, he used to like walk into the gym and he'd see us like doing certain exercises, you know, that he didn't tell us to do, you know, that some strength and conditioner told us to do. And Brendan would go fucking mental saying, listen, just fucking do what I've told you to do. Forget all this strength and conditioning bullshit. Just do what I've told you to do. So Brendan was like old school. He wasn't into all of these fancy protein shakes, you know, and heart rate monitors and treadmills and all that. You know, he was like before his time, man. He was before these strength and conditioners started to come on the scene. But, you know, if it was good enough for Nassim Hamed and Johnny Nelson and Harold Graham and a young Ryan Rhodes, then it's, you know what I mean? All right, Johnny Nelson against Lawrence Okolie, who wins that today? Johnny at his prime and Lawrence Okolie at his prime. You've probably never seen Johnny Nelson's fights, you know, because he was a bit boring. His style was boring, even though he was really good, his style was quite boring. So you probably couldn't tell me like 3 Johnny Nelson opponents that he's boxed. People don't really know him for his boxing, do they? You know, they know him for saying Tony Bellew is technically better than Usyk, and Kell Brook will stop Golovkin within 4 rounds. So Johnny's known for his Sky Sports appearances, but you know, he was a good boxer as well. He lost his first 3 fights, you know what I mean? And then he kept with it, won a British title, European title and world title. So you have to fucking rate him. So you know, these little fighters who box like 20 journeymen, they're not really learning anything. They're just fooling themselves. There's a few guys in the gym who boxed a load of nobodies, you know, padded out their records. And then when they stepped up, they got beat. So you're better off just fucking getting beat in your first fight and then just learning. Instead of boxing like 20 journeymen, getting 20 wins, and then stepping up and then getting beat, and then just fucking disappearing off the scene and never coming back. Shout out to Scott Whittam. Thanks for the £5 super chat. Conti or Bridges? Probably already talked about it, but I've missed it all. Conti or Bridges? What do you mean? You mean sexually or boxing? If you're talking sexually, I'd say that Ebony Bridges. She's quite nice. Shannon Conti was just a fat cunt who worked in a pub. You know, she fucking lost a bit of weight and now she thinks she's nice, but she's not nice. I'd say Ebony Bridges is definitely nicer. As far as boxing, I don't know how good Ebony Bridges is. Like I've said before, like, she only caught my attention for sexual reasons. You know, I don't know who she's boxed. I don't know what title she's won. I don't know who her opponents are, like what their records were. I don't know. Sex sells, don't it? So that's kind of like overtaken her boxing ability. We don't, how good is she? Ebony Bridges. We don't know, do we? So, Shannon Conti against Bridges. Sexually, Bridges. But as far as boxing, I don't know. But I hope fucking Shannon Conti gets smashed up. You know what I mean? She fucking goes around blocking people, don't she? She blocked me. I don't even follow you. So why are you blocking me? You know, I wasn't messaging you trying to fuck you. I wasn't sexting with you. I wasn't fucking sending you photos of my cock. You know, like Coogan does. So, you know, blocking me like that, it's a bit... I hope she gets fucked up anyway, that's all I'm saying. Let's have a look here at some of these questions. I'm going to wrap this shit up, you know. Let me have one more question and then wrap it up. Are we talking about what's going to happen to Campbell Hatton? I spoke about this already, you know what I mean? Like, he's getting the big treatment, innit? You know, the big fucking build-up, you know, because of his dad. But, like, this is what I mean. Boxing's more like gimmicks nowadays, innit? You know, with Dave Allen putting socks down his pants and getting on these big pay-per-view shows. You know, even though he's never won an area title. No disrespect to him. Shannon Conti. She looks probably like 4 out of 10, but because boxing is like a man's sport, innit? Most of the boxers are men. Anytime a woman comes on the scene, you know, men start to get a bit sexually excited. So she's getting a bit of hype. She's getting a few followers, Shannon Conti. Ebony Bridges, you know, she looks quite nice, so she's getting some followers, she's getting that exposure. But I don't know how good she is. Did you attend Heavy D's funeral? That's quite a good question, you know. You know that Heavy D? You know all these people who were tweeting, R.I.P. Heavy D, yeah, it's so sad, oh, I miss him, yeah, it's so sad. They don't give a fuck anymore, they don't give a fuck. The day after, they lost interest, they didn't care anymore that he was dead, they forgot about it, they didn't talk about it, they didn't tweet about it, they didn't go to his funeral. I can guarantee, like, most people who were tweeting about Heavy D didn't go to his funeral, and they've forgotten about it now. You know, and they're focused on Dillian White against Povetkin. They don't give a fuck. Like, who's commenting in the comments now about Hagler, like they were last week or a few days ago? R.I.P. Hagler. You know, no one gives a fuck now, do they? So, you know, when people say, oh, R.I.P. Hagler, you know, it's so sad. It's such a sad day. I'm so upset. You're not upset at all. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck, man. Are you still going to send for Sam Jones? No, he messaged me the other day on Instagram. He sent me a direct message, you know, being nice and friendly. Saying, yeah, I wasn't having a go at you. I wasn't having a go. I was just, whatever. You know what I mean? So he's kind of like waving the white flag, innit? You know, he's kind of begging for peace. So I'm going to leave him. You know, until he says something dodgy, and then I'll jump on him again. Was it me who sent you the message about women having knowledge about boxing? Yeah, shout out to Gail. Yeah, it was her, you know. Basically, I was talking about when I used to be on a dating app, and I put up photos, you know, of me with like successful boxers like Joshua, or the Skype wanker Amir Khan, or Kell Brook. Because some of these guys are like household names, aren't they? The Skype wanker. He's about to do a program called At Home with the Khans. So he's a bit of a household name, isn't he? The Skype wanker. Same with Joshua. So when I was on the dating app a few years ago, I put up a load of pictures, you know, with me and like boxers who are household names. And basically what I said in my life that this woman took offense to was that I said that, you know, most women don't know about boxing. So they won't know that I'm a little nobody. They'll see me with Joshua and think, oh, he must be a somebody if he's with Joshua. So I said, most women don't know about boxing. So they would easily be fooled by me being in a picture with Joshua. And they'd easily think that I'm a good boxer as well, you know, similar to that level. And I stick by my word, you know. Most women don't know anything about boxing. Like I've said before, go out into the streets and go up to a random woman and say to her, who do you think should have won out of Golovkin and Canelo in the rematch? They won't have a fucking clue what you're talking about, man. They won't have a fucking clue. Not a clue. I remember when I was in my local shop, you know, buying some Echo 4s. And the shopkeeper there, he's a bit of a boxing fan. And this was just before Tyson Fury's fight with Deontay Wilder. You know, the first fight. And me and him were talking about the fight, like how it's going to go. You know, when he was serving me. And there was a woman stood behind me. And she was like listening to our conversation. And she was like, are you talking about boxing? Because the guy said something like, I think Deontay would knock him out. She knew it was like fighting related. So she said, are you talking about boxing? And I said, yeah, we're talking about Tyson Fury against Wilder. And she was like, oh, I've never heard of them. And I was a bit surprised, you know, that she'd never heard of Tyson Fury. So I said, have you ever heard of Joshua, Anthony Joshua? And she said, no, I've never heard of him. And I thought, what the fuck? How can you never have heard of Anthony Joshua? And I was like really fucking shocked, you know, that she didn't have a clue who Anthony Joshua is. That's weird, isn't it? But you know, because we're in boxing, we know everyone, don't we? We know fucking Conor Benn, Joshua, Coogan, Michelle Hall Phelps, the Contradiction Froch. We know them all, don't we? But you know, this woman in the shop, she didn't know who Joshua was because she might not be a boxing fan. And she was like, yeah, I've never heard of him. You know, I'm more into rugby. So like, it makes sense, don't it? Like, who's the best rugby player in the world? I ain't got a fucking clue. I ain't got a fucking clue. Who's the best cricket player in the world? You know, I don't know. I ain't got a clue. So, you know, Joshua being like a big name in boxing, you can't expect everybody to know him. Just like I don't know who the best rugby player is, or the best cricket player, or the best fucking hockey player, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Shout out to Marquis69, thanks for the $5. Yo, Tyne, did you know that today is 26 years since Eazy-E died? R.I.P. Eazy-E. Yeah. I don't know, I ain't really giving it much thought, you know. But Eazy-E, he died of AIDS. You know what I mean? So, you know that fucking woman that I brought around here, you know, works in a brothel. She was trying to kiss me and I was like leaning back like that, like saying, yo, what you doing? And she was like, oh, I got some gel that I put around my lips so I don't get infected. I don't care, man. I don't want to fucking kiss you. You know what I mean? You work in a brothel, so I'm not taking any risks. George Johnson, thanks for the super chat. Who's the nicest person in boxing? Nice. You don't know, do you? Like, you talk about nicest, yeah, but nicest what? We don't know these people. You talk about nicest. Tyson Fury said that he's going to donate all of his earnings from the fucking Wilder fight to a charity. You know, and then it's come out that he hasn't. You know, Tyson Fury saying that he's being trained by Conor McGregor, you know, for a fight in the UFC. And McGregor, he said that he's never spoke to Tyson in his life. So, I don't know, the way our people appear on camera, it's not how they really are. You know, Tyson saying he's drinking 12 cans of Stella. He's not, is he? He's in shape. You know, he said he's not training anymore. And then he said that the last time he sparred was the night before. So it's a bit misleading, isn't it? You can't say you're not training anymore. You've stopped training, but you sparred the night before. That's like me drinking this here now, yeah. And then tomorrow doing a video saying I've stopped drinking. Yeah, but you had a drink last night. So you can't say you've stopped drinking. At least give it a month and then say, you know, give it a month without drinking and then say you've stopped drinking. But, you know, Tyson saying he stopped training and then saying he sparred last night, the night before, it's a bit... So you talk about who's the good guy in boxing. You know, the Black Quitter, he puts on an act. And he said that himself. He said that he puts on an act to try and sell himself. You know, trying to play the bad guy. You know what I mean? So he fucking does it. Like, that's what he did with me. You know, he was like talking shit about me. And then he like messaged me saying, yeah, I'm just doing this for money. I'm just doing it for hype. Don't take it personal. You know, when I went to London to put it on him and he had to quickly go to Spain, I started messaging him saying, I'm in London. Where are you? And he said, oh, I've quickly gone to Spain. And then he was like, yeah, don't take it personal, you know. I'm just doing this for money and publicity. I'm just doing it for a bit of hype. So he's fake, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's fake as fuck. So a lot of these guys who pretend to be bad guys, they're not really bad. You know, and then a month later he's saying that he's really into Jesus and the Bible. And he's humble OD. You know, and then he's fucking back talking shit, isn't he? So yeah, a lot of these guys are fake. It's like Prince Patel, you know, he was like calling Coogan ugly. You remember when Coogan interviewed him and he said he's got a 9-inch cock. And he said women come to his fights to give him a blowjob. You know, and he was calling Coogan ugly, saying he's a bit of a disgrace, you know, to the Indian race. You know, and then that Prince Patel, yeah, he went on Heavy D's YouTube channel and he apologized to Coogan, you know, saying, oh, I was just putting it on, you know, I was trying to sell myself. I was pretending to be like one of those WWF wrestlers, you know, because I was a big fan of wrestling. So I was just putting it on, you know, to try and sell myself. So he exposed himself as being fake. You know, saying he's got a 9-inch cock, saying women go to his fights to give him a blowjob. You know, it's fake, isn't it? Because he's an Indian, Prince Patel. And I live next door to an Indian family here. And you know the Indian family that I live next door to? They're a nice, respectable, classy family. You know, they're nice and quiet. They're nice and peaceful. You know, the dad, he's a doctor. The mum's a housewife. The kids are at university, you know, studying to become doctors and lawyers. So, you know, Indians, they're quite respectful. So, you know, if that family that I live next door to, you know, if they had a son, Prince Patel, and they seen a video of him on YouTube saying, I've got a 9-inch penis, and women come to my fights to give me a blowjob, you know, and Coogan's ugly, and he's a disgrace to the Indian race. You know, if that respectable family heard their son, Prince Patel, talking like that, they'd abandon him. And that's what happened with Patel. You know, his family are ashamed of him. And they've really put it on him and had a go at him. So then he went on that fucking Heavy D's channel, you know, and apologised to Coogan and Barry Jones. You know, saying no one knows Barry Jones. Wait, Tyan's doctor. Tyan's neighbour is a doctor. Yeah, he's a doctor. He's a doctor, man. A nice, classy, respectable Indian family. You know, the Skype wanker. He's doing a reality TV program called Keeping Up with the Khans, or At Home with the Khans, or something like that. But this family here, this respectable Indian family, they won't do something like that. You know, wanking on Skype and all that shit. It's a bit cringe, isn't it? R.I.P. Heavy D. You don't give a fuck about Heavy D. I don't know why you're pretending to be bothered about him being dead. You don't give a fuck. You don't, do you? My dad died like 6 years ago, you know, of cancer. And you know, at the time, I was really man down. But, you know, now, I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, after a while, you just don't give a fuck. So, you know, this guy saying R.I.P. Heavy D's, you don't give a fuck about him. Shout out to Harry McKeever. Mate, I fucking love you. Thanks for always making me laugh. Yeah, thanks for that, Harry McKeever. What else is going on? Keeping up with the poppadoms. Yeah, this guy the other day like messaged me, this Asian guy, and he said, can you stop saying that Amir Khan has got a poppadom chin because it's racist? You shouldn't be associating Asians with poppadoms because it's racist. It's not fucking racist. It's not fucking racist, is it? Right, one more question, then I'm going to wrap this shit up. Amir Khan got death threats for putting up a Christmas tree. Yeah, I heard about that. He was getting slandered and he was getting threats on him, but do you know what I mean? Come on, man. You know, when I first moved to Sheffield, you know, to train at the Ingle gym, you know, I used to be a big fan of Nassim Hamid, so I always wanted to come to the Ingle gym. So I moved here when I was about 21 and I was living with this Muslim guy. And when I first moved in with him, he was like really on the ball. We used to train twice a day. You know, he didn't fuck around with women. You know, he was like really on the boxing. And he turned pro at the same time as Kell Brook. And he was like 18-0 or something like that. And I was living with him. And he was really strict. When I used to wake up in the morning, he'd be out running. So he was like really strict, you know, sticking to his training and his religion. But then he got a taste of pussy. And he went out one night and picked up this woman. You know, some drunken woman. And I think he was pretending to be a taxi driver. And he got her in the taxi. He got her in his car, pretending to be a taxi driver. And he fucking, I don't know, he forced her to give him a blowjob, which is disgusting, isn't it? Yeah, man, sick bastard. Fucking horrible. I'm not into that, you know. I know I seem a bit sexist. You know, saying women don't know about boxing. And I only like Ebony Bridges because of her body. But when it comes to rape, I'm not really into it. I'm not into it at all, man. Shout out to Harry McKeever. Thanks for the £20 super chat. Mate, keep up the superb banter. Thanks for that. Yeah, shout out to Harry McKeever. It's appreciated. But yeah, I'm not into rape. I'm not into it at all, man. You know that guy who Mayweather boxed? That what's that guy called? Carlos Baldemir. He banged his 8-year-old daughter, didn't he? He got like 10 years in prison, so don't know, it's no good, man. It's no good. Yeah, man, I fucking bought a bit of weed today, you know. I was trying to hide it all video, but it fucking gives me a bit of a creative boost. Well, not really. But yeah, it's just nice, isn't it? Shall I end the live? Is it getting a bit dead? You know me smoking this here, I would still fuck up Marcus Morrison. You know, and Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting him on pay-per-view, you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a joke, innit? Derek Chisora is boring, man. He's lost 10 fights. But he sells himself, don't he? You know, throwing the table at Dillian. You know, spitting on Klitschko and slapping whoever he slapped, Klitschko. I keep thinking my internet has gone down every time you try and read the chats. Why do you say that? Shout out to John Wieners for the super chat, yeah. You've just joined, so I've got to do a rewind. That's the problem with these lives. I just do them randomly. Because, like, you know, if I schedule these lives for, like, every Wednesday at 9 p.m., you know, Coogan, he'll drop, like, a big fucking Eddie Earn interview, you know, deliberately, you know, to try and fuck up my life. You know, so I don't get any fucking views and donations. He'll fuck it up for me. You know, reporting my channel. He's a bit snidey, isn't he? Loads of women fantasize about being raped. Yeah, you know what? That's quite interesting, you know. That's quite a good point. I'm telling you. I remember one time when I was talking to this woman a few years ago on this dating app called Plenty of Fish. And we were like sexting, you know, backwards and forwards. And the woman said to me, you know, when we're having sex, yeah, you know, if I tell you to stop, what will you do? And I said, keep going. And she said, good answer. So, you know, these fucking feminists who say no means no. No, it doesn't necessarily. It doesn't, man. Sometimes no means yes. Yeah? Sometimes no means go harder. So, no doesn't always mean no. So this guy here is saying that some women like being raped. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get too sexual. I don't want this fucking video to lose ads. Smoking weed like Joe Rogan. Mike Tyson. This ain't a regular thing, you know. Like, because like, you know, this here, it's about £10, yeah. You know, this weed, it's £10, but I don't like handing over money. I'd rather keep putting money in Bitcoin, you know, and stocks and shares and shit like that, like Apple. Because I spent 2 years, you know, doing these videos for nothing. I was getting like £30 a week. So, you know, now the money's quite good, so. Staying all night, get some coke. Lorraine Thompson is a crazy cougar trolling for young hot studs. No, she's a nice woman. That's who bought me this Proper 12 whiskey. She came round last night and she was a bit sexual. She wanted to fuck, but I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling in the mood, man. That's AJ's high grade. Yeah, you know Joshua, yeah. tries to hide his past, don't he? He tries to hide his drug past. But that would make him more interesting, wouldn't it? It might make him a bit commercially less appealing. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, when Coogan got caught with a spliff, he tried to hide it, didn't he? You know, because he thought William Hill were watching. So Joshua not speaking about his drug past is probably for the best, isn't it? Come on, you fucking cunt, man. I had to watch a YouTube video, you know, to learn how to roll this up. Because I'm not a regular weed smoker. It's just when I do videos, it just chills me out. People say, oh, you shouldn't take drugs, but this is a fucking drug, innit? This is a drug, man. What's a drug? I looked at the definition of drug the other day, you know, on Google, and it said a substance that causes physical and physiological and psychological changes in the body. Yeah, but that's what alcohol does. Physical, it kind of slows down your reactions, don't it? That's why you're not allowed to drink drive, because your reactions will be slowed. You know, it can make you violent, it can make you aggressive, so it changes your aggression level. You know what I mean? So alcohol's a drug, man. It's a fucking drug, innit? So, you know, when people say, oh, I don't smoke weed, you know, I don't do drugs, I just drink alcohol and that's it, and smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are a drug. It's addictive, innit? But yeah, this is nice, but I don't want to get into it full time. I only do it when I'm doing a video. I'd still fuck up Marcus Morrison, man. It's not pay-per-view, that fight. That show is fucking garbage. Joseph Parker is boring, innit? He's not interesting at all. He's nothing to him. Nothing at all. I'm going to try and find a little dodgy stream. Shout out to Tahir Javid for the £5, yeah. Shout out Ibby for having bent legs like Coogan. Yeah, thanks for that. When a girl is proper into calling you daddy and shit, that's weird. Too many times I've been put off because of it. That's fucked. And it's a lot of girls calling you daddy. Yeah, what's all that about? Do you think that they're... I don't want to get into this, because like one of my videos got deleted, you know, off YouTube. You know, when I was talking about Tony Bellu's gay brother getting married to a man. And I was talking about Michelle Hall Phelps, you know, her little past. And they fucking deleted the video, so I had to put it up on Patreon. Do you wish you made the money Coogan makes? I don't know how much he's making. I looked at Coogan's finances, you know, on this website called Company's House. You know, and it said that Coogan's business, his channel, is worth at the time when I looked, he was like 20 grand, but there's no way he's fucking worth 20 grand. There's no way IFL TV are worth 20 grand. You know me, I've made more money from these videos, you know, than 20 grand. I'm not trying to show off, I'm just talking facts. So, you know, Coogan, he's got about 650,000 subscribers. So he's got big numbers on it. So he's, I don't know, he's getting handouts, isn't he? He's getting cash in hand. You know, MTK Global, they're probably giving him cash in hand, aren't they? I remember when he was in a shopping centre with Billy Joe Saunders. You know, Coogan said, you know, Billy Joe Saunders, he picked up some trainers and said, these are nice, aren't they? And then Coogan said, oh, I can easily afford to buy them. My YouTube channel's worth £5 million. You know what I mean? So he's worth much more than 20 grand. This channel here is worth more than 20 grand. Shout out to Joe B. Thanks for the £5. Read out Patreon messages. You know what? You know, you saying that. I used to give shout outs, you know, to people who subscribe to my Patreon. I used to give shout outs to them, you know, in my videos, but I was in town one day and I bumped into these two white men. And they was like, all right, Ty, how you doing? You all right, yeah? And I said, yeah, I'm all right. How you doing? And he was like, yeah, I've subscribed to your Patreon. You know, I really like your videos, so I subscribe to your Patreon, but can you do me a favor and not read out my name? Can you not give me a shout out? Because, you know, I've got to try and stay professional, you know, because of my job. So I don't really want to be shouted out because I've got quite a professional, low-key job. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was some kind of fucking private bodyguard or some kind of fucking celebrity or something where he has to stay low-key, but he asked me not to shout him out, you know, because of his job. He said he has to let us stay low-key. I don't know if he's with the fucking FBI or what, but that's what he said. So I'll stop shouting people out because they might not want to be associated with these fucking videos. They're a bit dodgy, aren't they? Not everyone's about the fucking posse and views, man, like Coogan. Not everyone's into that. Where's my fucking roach? And my Rizzler. Yeah, not everyone's into posse and views like Coogan, man. So I'll stop giving shout-outs. But message me on Instagram, you know, if you want me to say anything in these videos. Are you taking the vaccine for COVID? No, I'm not. Because I've already had the virus. And I felt shit for 2 days. Yeah. And then I went back to normal. So I don't need it, do I? If I had it and got over it, it's just for like old people, isn't it? You know, a bit vulnerable and that. Alcohol doesn't make you see things that you are. What? Alcohol doesn't make you see things that aren't there. Okay. Oh, you mean like weed? Yeah, listen, I've got a cousin who started smoking weed and he got sectioned. You know, when he started smoking weed. So there's no doubt that weed, it can have an effect on you. So that's why I don't promote it. And I don't even smoke it. It's only when I do a video every now and then. Same with the drinking. But yeah, like weed, you know, it can fuck you up, man. My cousin got sectioned when he was smoking weed, and like when he was smoking weed, he started going a bit mental and he went outside, you know, into the streets and he broke somebody's legs. You know, just a random person, he fucking broke their legs because he used to do taekwondo, you know, like Joe Rogan, my cousin. So when he started smoking weed, it fucked him up. You know, and he went out into the streets and he broke somebody's legs. So yeah, I won't recommend this, but whatever, innit? Like I say, alcohol's a drug. You know, if you drink beers. Like some men, they drink beer, don't they? And like, you know, when their football team loses, they go home and they fucking beat up their wives. You know, and fuck them up. So alcohol can have a big effect on you, man. Tyson Fury, WBC. Wow, you are one boring little boy. Is that what you're saying to me, or are you saying that somebody on here, he's called Tyson Fury, WBC? Wow, you're a boring little boy. I don't know. You don't mind. This guy says the same thing every week. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's no real different to those IFL fuckers, you know, running around asking Gareth A. Davis every week what he thinks of the Joshua Fury fight, and fucking Dave Coldwell and Ben Davison and fucking Spencer Fearon, the knowledge. So yeah, I'm just milking it, man. No, I'm not milking it. I don't know. Like, that's what I mean. Like, boxing is sometimes it's a bit dead, isn't it? You just don't know what to talk about, man. That's why I'm gonna start getting into the UFC. You know, this big fight on the weekend. I'm gonna do a live. Dillian White. I'm gonna do a live for that as well. Dillian White Povetkin. It's been 2 hours now, isn't it? Shall I wrap it up? Are you getting sick of this now? Are you getting fucking bored of it? 2 hours is taking a piss, isn't it? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make this video private on my YouTube, yeah? And I'm gonna chop it up into little bits. You know, like 20-minute videos. You know, and put a few pictures in. I don't know whether to put a photo in of, you know, Coogan's baby mama. You know, who was in the fucking Playboy magazine. I might put a photo of her in it. I don't know if that's going too far, man. You know, his fucking baby mama with her posse out in the magazine. I don't know if me putting up a photo of that is going a bit too far. You know, him telling me to be safe. It's not really a big deal, man. It's a bit snidey, innit? It's a bit fucking snidey, man, but Tyan, I swear you beat that Marcus Morrison in your 11 wins. When you gonna become a Muslim? Peace. You say a Muslim, like I've got a few Muslim mates. I've got a few little Muslim mates, you know, and they're nice people, do you know what I mean? But like, you say become a Muslim, but like, which Muslim? Because you've got some Sunni Muslims and you've got some Shias. So like, even Muslims don't fully agree, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's alright saying, yeah, become a Muslim, but which Muslim, mate? You know what I mean? I'm a bit too lazy to like read all these religious books. Because the Quran, it was written in Arabic as well, wasn't it? So I'd have to learn Arabic, you know, to get the true meaning of the Quran in Arabic. Because, like, you know, English words, they've got different meanings, aren't they? You know, like right. The word right in England, you know, it can mean left, right, wrong, you know, right on a piece of paper. So the word right, it's got different meanings on it. And that's just in the English language. So learning Arabic is just too complicated, man. It takes too long. Shout out to the Muslims though. You know Nassim Hamed? He used to say that everything is written from God to happen. Yeah, everything that happens is written from God. Everything is scripted. It's already like pre-written. So did God write for a fucking man to rape a little kid? That's not a very nice thing to write, is it? It's not a very nice thing to write. So when Nassim Hamed used to say everything's written from God to happen, yeah, I don't know what he means, man. Where's my fucking lighter, man? Fuck's sake, I'm sure I just lit my spliff with this. I've put it in between my legs. Where are you at? Where you at? Where you at? I want to fucking smoke this shit here, you know. Yeah. I'm going to have to really chop this video up into about 20 different videos, you know, because this video is too long. No one's going to sit here watching a video for like 2.5 hours, are they? How you doing anyway? Thanks for everyone for donating, you know, and buying my fucking shit merch. Terence Crawford is going to smack up Spence, you know. Yeah, but that's what I mean. They're just tweeting each other, aren't they? They're just fucking tweeting each other. I think they both respect each other. They know how good each other is. So I think, like, both of them, they're in their 30s, aren't they? So I think they both want to retire unbeaten. So I just think they're not willing to take the risk because they're just tweeting each other, aren't they? Just, instead of fighting. Don't quit the live at 1.3 thousand views. Alright, I'll just smoke this spliff and then I'll wrap it up. Then I'm going to chop this up. This is going to be on private, I think. I'm going to chop it up and put it into like individual videos because it's dragging on, isn't it? Adult work is better. Yeah, adult work is another site, you know, where you can hire a woman for sexual reasons. Adult work. But that's a bit better because it's a bit more specific. Because the women on there, they actually say what they're up for. So, like, you know, if you like fucking... You know, if you like Ramin and Nathan. You know, if you like fucking arse, the women on Viva Street... No, not Viva Street. Adult work. They list their sexual, like, preferences or things that they're into and things they won't do. So adult work's a bit better. But I've never paid for sex, so I don't know. Oh, don't start this again. Fuck you know. As soon as I finish this, I'm gonna chop this video up. Tyan, are you on Cameo? Basically, Cameo is that thing in it where people ask for shout-outs. That fucking weed just hit me in the throat. Really fucking hit me in the throat, you know. Yeah, what was I talking about? Sorry about this, it's dragging on. Let me ask some questions, let me read out some questions. Thanks for everyone for tuning in and for those who are donating and shit like that. Nassim Hamed also said that Allah would never make him lose. Lol. That's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. This is what I mean about religion. Like, you know, people who are religious, yeah, they talk about the afterlife and all that shit, but Like, I was driving the other day and I seen like a squashed rat, you know, on the road with its fucking guts out and its fucking blood pouring out over the road. This little fucking rat. Because there's a load of takeaways over there, so there's loads of rats running around, you know, looking in the bins and that. There's a load of rats. It's probably about 15 minutes from here. But when I drove past there the other night, there was like a rat, you know, squashed on the road with his fucking blood and guts just pouring out. So that's what I mean, like, you talk about the afterlife, but what do you mean? Like, is there a fucking rat afterlife as well? Is there a fucking afterlife for rats, you know, where they go and see their dead rat relatives in some big rat afterlife? It's fucking stupid, isn't it? There's millions and millions of different species. We're just one of them. But humans seem to think like we're the main ones, you know, we're not. We're not, man. There's millions and millions of different species out there, so are we the only ones to like go to our afterlife and see our dead relatives again? You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid, isn't it? Tyan, I'm a big fan, but you need to cut those fingernails. Which ones? Can you see any nails here? There's no nails here, man. I like to keep one long nail, you know, to scratch my arse crack. I'm a fucking ball sack. Wingy boxing, Wingy is out looking for you, lad. Yeah, he's back in here, Wingy boxing, Wingy. You know, he's finally got over me saying that he's not doing well sexually. You know, like Umar, IFL Umar. He's fucking come back, hasn't he? It took him about 2 years, you know, to get over that. You know what I mean? He's going to quit again. He'll pussy out. He'll quit again like O'Hara Davis. You know what I mean? When you quit once, you quit. You'll always quit. You know, if he can quit after being on YouTube for years and years just because I came on the scene and said he's not doing well sexually and he's a little black nerd, he'll quit again, man. Some of these YouTubers are fucking weak. They're mentally weak, man. Is mad chick boxing pretending to be a boxing fan for male attention? No, she's not, you know. She's got a magazine. She's got a boxing magazine, not a porno magazine like Coogan's baby mama. She's got a fucking boxing magazine, you know, where she interviews boxers. Some women are into boxing, man. I'm not going to be sexist and say women don't, like all women don't know anything about boxing. Some women know more about boxing than me. I'm a casual. I don't tune into like Joe Cordina or fucking Anthony Fowler. He boxed the other day, didn't he? Anthony Fowler. You know, people saying that is the next Carl Froch. You know what I mean? Carl Froch is a 4-time world champion. With like 11 wins, world title, back-to-back wins. You know, Anthony Fowler got fucked up by that Fitzgerald. You know, he's not old up, man. He's about 32 as well, or 31. Shout out to Alex Nicole for the $5. Did you pay more for that blunt than Carl Froch paid for his onion rings? Yeah, you know about a story, don't you? You know about Carl Froch being in a restaurant with his little two mates. And they were chatting, you know, having a little laugh and that, a little chat. And then the bill came. And the bill was £30. And the other two that Carl Froch was with saying, yeah, we'll just all chuck a tenner in, it's alright. And then Carl Froch was like, no, I'm not paying the same as you. I only had battered onion rings. Why should I pay the same as you when I only had battered onion rings? And he was kicking off, you know, in the restaurant, you know, making a scene. You know, people was like looking over like, what the fuck's going on here? This is from a very reliable source. This is from one of the two guys who were in the restaurant with him. And he was kicking off like saying, why should I pay the same as you? I only had battered onion rings. You know, kicking off, you know, like when he pushed George Groves on the football pitch. You know, and he fucking pulled him across the table saying we can all pull about a bit. Yeah, you want to pull about, have a bit of a pull and a push. You can't hold it together, can he, Carl Froch? You know, when he was doing that little, the gloves are off. Not when he pulled him, but when they were sitting on that box, you know, on ringside. Yeah, it was ringside, wasn't it? George Groves was like really putting it on to Carl Froch. And Carl Froch looked at Eddie Hearn and said, what's happening right now? Do you know what I mean? He's showing a bit of vulnerability there, didn't he? Carl Froch. He's showing a bit of vulnerability. Yeah, what do you think of this shit live, man? God knows best. Nassim Hamed also said his defeat was written. Alhamdulillah. Yo, no disrespect to Muslims, you know, I'm not trying to dish you, but I just feel like you talk about everything's written from God to happen, like it's scripted, it's already written before we're born, but like I said before, does God write for a man to go and rape that little kid? You know what I mean? I've got a fucking uncle who got 10 years in prison a few months ago, you know, for banging his 7-year-old daughter. So did God write for that to happen? What do you mean by right? That's what I mean, it's too vague, innit? That's what I'm saying, I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for it, man. I'm going to read a few more questions and then fuck it off. This has been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's almost arrogant, isn't it? That's almost like arrogant, like saying, yeah, I'm worth listening to for 2.5 hours. I'm a brilliant talker. Yeah, everyone listen to me. I've got something interesting to say. It's a bit cocky, isn't it? Shout out to G Singh. Google the Great Awakening map. I don't know what that means, you know. I don't know what that means, but thanks for the super chat. It was only about £1.99. I don't know why you don't just wrap it up to like £2. I don't understand why you make it £1.99. Someone donated about 79 pence, you know, in my first live. Just make it £1 or 50 pence. This live's longer than a fucking Netflix film, innit? It's too long, man. That's why I'm gonna make it private and chop it up, you know, put it into like individual videos. One more question, yeah? One more question. How much did you get paid for fighting that wanker Eubank? I got $2,000. Yeah, this is a bit dead, you know. I'm gonna wrap this up because I need a piss anyway. I'm just thinking, like, shall I stop it for like 5 minutes, have a piss, and then do another live? Are you sick of it now? How many people are watching? 1,285 people watching, yeah? I don't know. Alright, one more good question. Seriously, one more good question. Then I'm going to fuck you off and have a piss and wrap it up. No, this is no good. It's just silence, innit? It's no good. It's no good, man. It's no good. It's no good, is it? It's time to call it a day, you know what I mean? Just try and go out before it hits an all-time low. There's still over 1,000 people watching, but it's just silence here, innit? I can't see any good questions, man. I can't see any good questions. Why ain't my fucking lighter working, man? Right, let me finish this spliff and then call it a day. Floch might be 4 times world champion, but he hasn't got any class. Fucking hell, this keeps hitting my throat, man. Do you wish you had Coogan's successful business? Do I wish you had... Like I said before, I looked on his, you know, his finances on a channel, a page called Company's House. He said he's worth 20 grand, so... you don't know how much he earns. You ain't got a clue. Like, how much do I get paid for these videos? I get paid probably more than I deserve. This is why it's hard to go back into boxing. That's why I have to rate those 2 Paul brothers, you know, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Because those guys are millionaires, yeah. And obviously they're going to have loads of groupies, aren't they? Loads of women wanting to fuck them. You know, because they're little celebrities. So, you know, for them to climb into a ring and get punched. You have to rate them, man. How many of these fucking trolls here, like this idiot, saying, oh, do you wish you had Coogan's business? How many of these little trolls would fucking climb into a ring and fight? I'm not saying if you don't climb into a ring and fight, you're a little bitch. But I'm just saying if you're a troll and you won't climb into a ring, you can't really say too much, man. So you have to respect these 2 little brothers, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. You should go on Carl Froch's podcast. You know, I went to Carl Froch's house. That's disgusting, isn't it? I spat. Yeah, I'm not going to smoke anymore because it's fucking up my voice, man. It's fucking up my voice, you know, this fucking spliff. And I have to keep trying to drink and it kind of breaks up the conversation, don't it? It breaks up my flow. Are you still into crackheads? No, I'm not into them at all. The only time I've had like a little interaction with a crackhead is when those 2 crackhead women came round here. You know, one of them watches my videos. So I bought some crack cocaine, you know, and we came round here and was watching Errol Spence against Danny Garcia. But I didn't fuck her. You know, because she knows who I am. She recognised, she came up, I parked up in my car and she came up to my car and asked me for a lift. And then she got in the car and she started saying, oh, I know you from YouTube. Are you TFL TV? So she knew who I was, so I didn't want to bang her because she could like take a photo of me naked, you know, and send it to Cuban or one of those fucking dosses like the Black Quitter, you know, to try and blackmail me. And if she said to me, if you don't give me like £100, I'm going to send this naked photo of you to the Black Quitter, I'd probably give it her, to be honest. So I didn't want to take a risk by fucking her, you know, getting naked. What is your day job? All right, let me tell you what I do. I was going to do a separate video on this kind of subject, you know, about money. Because I'm making some good money now. Shout out to the people who have donated to this. And the people who watch and people who subscribe to my Patreon. But this is all I do, you know, these videos here. I do lives. I do, like, I sell merch. Sold quite good. You know, the money that I made from these videos, I've invested it, you know, into a cryptocurrency. Because, like, you know, Bitcoin, when it first came out, it was like $5. You know, now it's like worth $40,000. So imagine if you bought a load of Bitcoin, you know, and it was like $5. Imagine what it'll be worth now. That's what I mean, man. You know, the Black Quitter, he said he used to take women to like 5-star restaurants and hotels and spend a lot of fucking money on them. And that was like 10 years ago. So, you know, if he invested that money in Bitcoin, he wouldn't have to box now. He'd be sorted. He would be sorted, man. So it's all about investing in it. You know, Harold Graham, he boxed for like 3 world titles. You know, now he's working in Asda. So it's no good, is it? Do you like high wanks? Says Will Jones. High wank. You know what? You know, about a year ago, I snorted a bit of cocaine, man. You know, like Ricky Hatton and Tyson Fury, I snorted a bit of coke. And when I came back here, I was like wanking for about 3 hours. Sorry to get sexual, but I'm just talking facts. I was wanking for ages and I just couldn't come, man. It was pissing me off. It was really fucking getting on my nerves, man. So what did he say? Do you have a high wank? Nah, I won't recommend it, man. Who's your favourite serial killer? That's a good question, that. Well done. Best question all night, isn't it? I like murder. No, I shouldn't say that, should I? I just mean I find it interesting. You know, if you go on Tinder, yeah, and you scroll through the women's bios, a lot of them will say, I like watching serial killer documentaries. You know, that's quite interesting, isn't it? So I think a lot of these women are attracted to fucking murderers, you know. I think they're attracted to murderers, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I think I was watching Joe Rogan the other day and he was talking about the same thing. And he said that women like murderers because, like, evolutionary, you know, going back to the caveman days. You know, where it was like kill or be killed. Like, there'll be a woman and she'd be with a caveman. And there'd be another caveman over there, you know, trying to kill her kids. And trying to rape her and all that. So women, evolutionary speaking, they're like men who are willing to kill and fuck up other men. I'm telling you. So women like fighters. You know, if you're a little bitch like O'Hara Davies, women won't like you. They won't respect you. They would fucking look down on you. You know what I mean? You know, when I boxed Chris Eubank, yeah, there was this fucking woman, you know, on my Facebook. You know how you got like women on your Facebook and you don't know who they are? You know, you don't fucking know them. You don't speak to them. They're just women on there, like random ads. Well, I had a woman on my Facebook, yeah, and she was just like a random woman. I didn't fucking know her at all. And she was on my Facebook friends list for years. Years and years. And we never spoke. I just used to see her on there. And like, you know, the day before I was getting ready to box Chris Eubank Jr. Oh, I've missed a fucking super chat, for fuck's sake. Some guy gave me 20 quid. Yeah, sorry about that. I fucked it up. You know, before I boxed Chris Eubank Jr., you know this fucking woman, yeah? She sent me a message on Facebook saying, oh, sorry, I forgot to give you my phone number. Here. And she gave me a phone number, you know, with a little kiss on the end. And I thought, you fucking dirty slag. You fucking shallow gold digging whore. You know, messaging me. Just because I'm about to fucking fight Chris Eubank Jr. live on Channel 5. So you want to send me your phone number after all these years. Because you think, oh, if he beats Eubank, you know, he might become a millionaire. So I'll send him my phone number just before he boxes Eubank. So I can try and get with him if he beats Eubank and becomes a fucking millionaire. And you know, when I lost to him, the fucking bitch didn't send me any more messages after that. You know what I mean? What a fucking dirty, shallow fucking slag. Fucking parasite of a woman. A fucking leech. You know, trying to be all nicey because I was getting ready to box Eubank on Channel 5. That's what I mean, man. Some of these women are scum. Shout out to Marks out of Zen for the $5. €5 to have a piss. 5 more if you punch that beer straight in the nuts. Are you not on drugs as well? I'm sure some of these questions are from people who are fucking drugged up, man. You want me to punch a fucking fake teddy in the nuts? It's not real, man. It's fake. It's not gonna... You know what I mean? Carl Froch is creepy in a bad way. I heard Carl Froch had a threesome, you know, with his brother Lee, the alcoholic Froch. And I heard that from a very reliable source. A very reliable source said that. So I think it's true, you know. Because, like, you know, his girlfriend, Rachel Cording, she's quite nice, isn't she? But he'll get bored of her. Like I said before, when I got banned from boxing and I could just eat anything, I was eating like 5 bars of chocolate a day. But then after a few months, I got a bit bored of it and the novelty wore off. So Carl Froch with his fancy wife, you know, he's probably bored of her now, isn't he? He's been with her a couple of years, so he's probably bored of her. So he probably had a threesome, you know, with him and his I don't know if it was his wife and his brother or some other random woman. But I heard he had a threesome and I heard it from a reliable source. There's still like 1,262 people watching. Have you been watching for 3 hours? It's not worth it. Who was the slag who sent you a phone number the day before you was getting ready to box Eubank? It was just some random Facebook slag. I don't know who it was. It was probably some woman who was like in her 30s who didn't do anything at school. She didn't study hard at school. She didn't go to college and university and become a success. So now she's in her 30s, she's getting a bit desperate because she hasn't got anything else. She's got like 3 kids, you know, to 3 different men. So she's getting desperate. So she's looking for any man, you know, to fucking try and get with, you know, who's got potential to make money. So when I was getting ready to box Eubank, she decided to conveniently send me her phone number, saying, sorry, I forgot to give you my phone number here. And she sent me her phone number with a little kiss on the end. You know what I mean? She's fucking... Come on, man. This fucking light is long now. Oh, let's go. Shout out to Marquis69 for the SEK20. What is that? How much is that in English pounds? Because I don't want to really give you a shout out if it's like 50 pence UK pounds. It's not worth it. What woman would you murder if you were a killer, Tyan? Probably Shannon Contney. Shannon Contney would get murdered. Shannon Contney will get murdered. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too sexual. I'll say what I'd do to her if she died. If I killed her, man. Are you bitter because Coogan sacked you? I'm not really bitter that Coogan sacked me. He didn't really sack me. This is what I don't like. Like, what happened was, I used to work for Coogan and IFL. It was called iFilm London back then. And it was James Helder and Coogan. And, you know, I was interviewing for them. You know, travelling around, going to little shit boxing shows. And one time I wrote a dodgy tweet. I think it was about Gerald McLennan. You know him, who got blinded and wheelchaired by Nigel Benn. I wrote a tweet because like someone was trying to raise funds for him, but you know him, he used to be cruel to animals. You know, he used to tie up like dogs with sellotape, you know, and put them in a cage with a pit bull. And I don't like animal cruelty at all. So you know him doing that, tying up a dog and putting it in a cage with a pit bull. You know, to watch the innocent dog tied up and get fucked up. I didn't like it, man. I don't like animal cruelty at all. So someone was trying to raise funds for him, so I said, fuck him. You know, don't donate any money to that fucking retard. You know, donate to animal welfare charities instead. And I wrote some other dodgy tweets, but it would take too long to get into it. But yeah, they got rid of me anyway. But, you know, instead of like messaging me saying, yeah, you know, you've written a few dodgy tweets, so we're gonna have to get rid of you. Because we're trying to go corporate, you know, for our sponsors, William Hill and Betfred and MTK Global. We're trying to go legit. So because you've written these dodgy tweets, you know, we're gonna have to let you go, but good luck in the future. You know, if they said that, I'd be, yeah, that's all right, that's okay, that's fine, no problem, yeah. But they didn't do that. Basically, what I used to like interview boxers, and I'd send James Helder and Coogan the video file, you know, on email. So I interviewed Billy Joe Saunders and I sent them the video, you know, via email, but they didn't fucking put the video up on their channel. So I sent it again and they didn't put it up. And I hadn't heard from them for ages, so, you know, they fucked me off, you know, just by ignoring me. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a fucking snidey move, innit? It's a bit of a fucking bitch move. But I'm glad anyway, because like I used to like drive around, you know, in different cities. You know, going to... I made more than that. I made more from doing these lives, you know, than I did working for Kogan and James Helder. So I don't know. I don't care, man. I'm alright doing this. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this off, you know, because the viewers have dropped down to 1,231. Shall I have another piss and then come back and then just do a few more questions and then just wrap it up? Because it's still like over 1,000 people watching. I'm gonna chop it up anyway into little bits. So yeah, let me just have a piss. Just send me some good questions, yeah? Tyan, you could have been a world champion. Alright, you know you saying that, yeah? I could have been a world champion. But what I'm saying to you is like, when I used to box, I didn't sell tickets. I was always the B-side, so I used to get robbed a lot because, you know, like Kid Gallard against Josh Warrington. Obviously Barry got robbed, didn't he? Because Josh Warrington's the A-side, and he sells all the tickets. Oh, fucking hell, hurry up, man. How much piss is coming out here? Yeah, sorry about this. Fucking hurry up, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this piss in half, you know, and just piss in my pants, because I'm live. This is what I mean. This is why I put a piss bottle here, so I don't have to run to the toilet, because that will make it even longer away from the fucking camera, man. Come on, let's go. Right, we're done. Right, what's going on here? Oh, shit. You're gonna have to end the stream, you know. It's fucking about, innit? It's fucking about. Just end.